Hello, good morning, and welcome back to my channel. So, it's been quite a while since I have done anything on here, but honestly, I've kind of just been in a big reading slump this year. Like, not even wanting to pick up, like, the book club books, which I'm usually pretty good about. At the very least, like, listening to, which is what I mostly do for them. Even that, like, I may have done about half so far this year, but summer is over. For me personally, I've been like ready for it to be over since June, like before school even let out and like it officially started. I'm a fall person. I like the cozy weather. I like the cozy foods. I've just always been a fall person and will always be. But so I definitely have more fallish reads now. And I have 4 books for August that I want to try and get through. I feel like that's a pretty good start, and they're all ones I'm interested in reading. One of them is a reread. 2 of them are from the books I want to read this year. And one is one that I've had on my TBR since last year, like on my bookshelf since last year, and just didn't get to it in the fall time, so I wasn't gonna read it in the winter, spring, or summer. So my first book on my August TBR is my reread book, which I think I've reread it every year since it came out, and I've had it, and that is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which is the second book in the Dream Harbor series. Since like after reading it the first time, when I reread it last year, I read this one before the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which is the first book. Just because this book gives off more of like late summer, early fall vibes, English. And so I like to read this one more so in August, and then the Pumpkin Spice Cafe I'll probably end up reading in September. But this one follows Hazel and Noah, who we meet in the first book, and Hazel works at the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and she's kind of like the manager of it. And then we have Noah, who is a fisherman, and books end up showing up in the bookstore that are somehow defaced, so they'll have like a dog-eared page with stuff underlined or highlighted in it, like certain lines for Hazel to pretty much kind of follow and try to uncover, because she wants to make her life more interesting before she turns 30. So these mysteriously just start showing up in some of the books in the bookstore, and she kind of takes it as a sign to like kind of just follow them and try and figure out like what's going on with them, and they end up like giving her kind of like a bucket list to do before the summer is over. And yeah, I'm excited to reread this one. This one is probably, I haven't read the newest one that came out this past spring, the Daisy Flower Chain Shop. I haven't read that one yet, but out of the ones that I have read, this one is my favorite so far. And then the next romance that I have on my August TBR is Barefoot Lake, and this is one that I was getting last year and did not end up getting to, but just kind of going off of like the cover, it's kind of giving off like early like fall, late summer vibes. And this one we follow Alice, who, when her mother passes away from a long battle with cancer, Alice's life tilts on its axis. After ending her flatline, disastrous relationship, she flees to Boston for the lake house her mother left behind in Wilcox Grove, New Hampshire. She was living in Boston. I may have read that wrong. She was living in Boston and then flees to New Hampshire. The presence of so much nature all around her is jarring enough on its own, but her quaint new home also seems determined to sabotage her. Alice is still floundering to figure out how to be a homeowner in the middle of the woods when she meets her surly new neighbor, who seems to hate her before they even spoken. Jay Preston has lived in Wilcox Grove nearly his entire life, where he prefers to keep mostly to himself. His quiet sanctuary is aggressively disturbed by the hurricane of a woman who moves in next door, seemingly determined to completely destroy the home of somebody he considered a dear friend. Prickly on his best day, Jake is not about to play friendly neighbor to the menace who has come to town to turn everything upside down. So it seems like it's kind of be like enemies, kind of, two lovers, because it seems like he was really close with her mom before she ended up passing, and I kind of feel like he may then not have like the best impression of her, especially like once he finds out that she is her daughter, and because like he was probably there like helping her out where Alice was probably nowhere to like really be found. So excited to read this one. The cover is really pretty. I really do like the cover. And then onto my two fantasy romance books that I have. It is part of a series, and the fourth one comes out this month if that hasn't come out yet. I don't know if it came out today or if it comes out later on in the month. But that is the Assistant to the Villain series. So I only have books 1 and 2 physically right now, so I just want to try to get through these 2 this month, and then maybe the next 2 next month. But I've read the first one when it like first came out, and then never read the second one yet. So, but the series pretty much follows Evie and the villain, and Evie is very much like not a bad person, and she ends up becoming the assistant to the villain. That becomes her job, and she ends up working for him and keeping that like on the down low of who she's working with from her father. And so in this book it kind of just follows Evie's kind of like day-to-day life as working for the villain, and things start to happen that kind of have her suspecting that something is wrong, and that there may be someone who works for the villain who isn't really on his side. I remember reading through this one fairly quickly, so I think I can get through this one pretty fast again and then get into the second one. I probably will end up doing these maybe like later on in the month, or doing like reading these physically and reading the Cinnamon Bow Bookstore on my Kindle, because I do have it on my Kindle. Maybe have this one be later on in the month, but we'll see. But definitely you want to get back into this one. I think those are the 4 books that I have for this month. Like I said, I have 2 romances and then 2 fantasy romances, which is pretty much the main genres that I do read. So that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and look forward to seeing some of these in some up and coming reading vlogs, and hopefully I can stick to my August TBR. I think I will. I'm pretty excited about all 4 of these books, and who knows, maybe I'll end up continuing some of the Assistant to the Villain series this month and end up surpassing the 4, but at the very least I want to get these 4 done and read. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in some future videos.